course of the project.
Okay. Melissa, you want to take that?
Sure. As mentioned, we will be breaking ground on the building this year. We expect it to be completed in summer 2014 and expect to then break ground on a building every 6 to 9 months thereafter.
Thank you. You mentioned in the slide that there would be 4,000 square feet of ground floor retail included in B2. How will the tenancy of the ground floor retail be decided? Will you be working with the local North Flatbush Avenue Business Improvement District? Who will be involved in that decision making?
I think that we have the ultimate decision making, but obviously, particularly the North Flatbush BID, we love working with them, so if they have ideas, I'd be happy to work with them. Back.
Okay. You also mentioned that this would be a city-administered lottery process to select the recipients of the new housing. Can you describe that process, who will be controlling it, and which city agency specifically?
Sure. The city agency overseeing the lottery will be HDC, that's the Housing Development Corporation, the New York City Housing Development Corporation. All of the policies, rules, and procedures will be made available at the time of the lottery, which we expect to happen in January of 2014, which is when the applications will become available. Typically, applications become available approximately 6 months prior to that TCO, and we talked about that TCO date happening in the summer of 2014. The housing lottery, what happens is that applications can be filled out online or in paper form. There will be a deadline that will be established by which all of the applications need to be received, and then there's a process by which they are randomized, and applications and applicants are considered in the order in which they're plucked out of the random lottery. At that point in time, the income will need to be verified, and the eligibility of that person or household will need to be established. And all of that criteria will be made very clear at the time of the housing lottery, and again, HDC is the city agency that will administer that process.
Thank you.
I have a very straightforward question. Where will this building you are describing be located?
On the corner of Flatbush and Dean. The exact address is
It's
461.
And when the project is fully built out, how many residential buildings will there be in all?
When the project
When
is
Atlantic
fully
Yards?
built, Atlantic Yards?
When Atlantic Yards is fully built, yes.
So as most people know, there are some existing approvals needed. The full build-out is...
The full build-out is 6,430 units, and there are 16 total buildings that are part of Atlantic Yards. Some of those have commercial components, and the vast majority of the buildings are exclusively for residential use, though some of the buildings have a commercial or a residential variation that is part of the project approval.
A couple more very general questions. How many community members from community districts 2, 6, and 8 will be given unionized construction jobs to work on the building?
So we couldn't decipher an exact number because we'll need to look at the applicants and interview them, but they get preference along with NYCHA residents and the graduates of the 2 apprentice programs we pointed out.
Can you describe the status of approvals for city and state agencies for the building? Are any approvals outstanding?
So we ran through that list. I think Melissa was clear that we're still working with HPD on the design of the apartments. We talked about DOB, we talked about approval. The next step in that obviously is building permits. What else? I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything else either. It's really closing out that last HPD review, and the DOB, the Department of Buildings, has fully approved the building, which will then tee us up to pull a permit when we're prepared to commence construction on December 18th.
And one more very preliminary question. Why did you wait until 3 weeks before the groundbreaking to present these plans to the community?
So we committed to do a groundbreaking by the end of the year. So December 18th gets us in there. And we were finalizing plans with our partner Skanska, our financing. And so I guess the timing of all things, if you line them up, today was a great day to be able to share absolutely everything with you guys now that it's all come to fruition.
This wasn't mentioned in the presentation, but the rooftops to the buildings could provide an opportunity for sustainability elements, such as blue roofs, green roofs, or photovoltaic systems. Are any of those being considered?
Presently, those are not a part of our design, though I will say that the building is designed to achieve LEED Silver certification, and we did go through a very extensive process of reviewing all of the design elements and opportunities to achieve that LEED certification. But right now, photovoltaics are not a part of that. On the roof, we do have a roofing that's it's a lighter color, which means that it kind of reflects the sun and prevents a lot of heat absorption into the building. So there are some design features in the roof that are sustainable, but those specific ones you mentioned are not currently contemplated for the building.
Thank you. Where will the building residents park, and how many spaces will be provided?
So I'll take this one and hand it to Jane if anything further is needed, because she loves parking. There'll be additional spaces, striped and in stackers at lot 1129. The total number is 148? 146.
How will the CBA goals be monitored?
They'll be monitored by our great CBA team. We see representatives here today, and with Forest City. I assume that question is also directed at when we're hiring an independence compliance monitor, and those plans are still underway.